Sure, Mark wants to talk.
Yeah. I knew there'd be a lot of school districts here.
Quite a few of them.
I don't see no.
Oh, no, I thought he was first. Yeah, ready for the shoot?
You want me to step up right after the pledge with Jeff?
Yeah, we'll sit down, we'll all three just,
Okay,
yeah, I'll let you start it though.
okay.
Good morning, it's May 22nd, it's 9:30. Welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Commissioner Moore?
Here.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Here.
Commissioner Riddell?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Good. Commissioner Riddell?
Yes, before we get into today's business, there's been much attention in print, well-deserved, but we wanted to take a moment to remember Jeff Armbruster, who unfortunately a week ago today, succumbed to his third bout of cancer in the last 6 years. So we were very hopeful that he would beat this one, much like he had the other two. Jeff was a consummate public servant. I happen to have known him for over 40 years. So far ago, I couldn't even remember when we first met. And whether he was serving the state of Ohio or the city of North Ridgeville or Lorain County, he was laser focused on the problems and the tasks at hand and trying to do the greater good for the greater number of folks that he was representing. And our board was very pleased to have Jeff with us for the last 3 years to help us, sort through some of the things that we had on our agenda. He will be missed, and we have already discussed with the staff, and we're for the near future, we're going to close ranks, and those that know his agenda will each take a piece of it, and we will carry it forward. So with that, I defer to the other commissioners.
I'll say that I've known him for probably about 15 years, and that he's an inspiration and always with a smile, a positive attitude, and I don't want to say too much because I'll break up, but he's a great man. Good to work with him.
Yeah, I'm going to miss him.
Ready? Under Resolutions Number 1, Investments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 2, Appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 3, Transfers.
Move to approve. We got 2 pages? No, I got one here.
Oh,
Just one.
okay. Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 4, Advances, Repayments. There were none. Number 5, Requisitions.
This is page 1 of the requisitions. I've already asked our budget director, just so you guys take a look at items number 587, 588, and 589. Line item number 587 is in regards, and 589 is in regards to the 911 unnecessary lawsuits against 911. And line number 588 is CCI, in which a vendor was told before he signed the contract 3.5 years ago that we were going to rescind it in 3 weeks. We're now in our almost coming up to our 4th year with this frivolous lawsuit. So I've asked Casey to get a total for everybody, and we're going to start maintaining the legal fees and waste of taxpayer funds on this unnecessary attack on our taxpayers. So that's page 1. Page 2, please. Page 2, please. Okay. Motion to approve pages 1 and 2.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 6, travel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
We have 4 pages today. Page 2, please. You'll see item number 35, that's the payroll for the recent election. Page 3, please. Page 4. Move to approve pages 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes. On that item, Commissioner Moore did the salary for the poll workers. I was asked by the Board of Elections just to remind everybody that we have to dress up no matter what the attendance is, and we're already there, and we're already paying, so don't be afraid to come out and vote in future elections. You know, we're open for business.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
8,
We're going in exec.
okay, county commissioners may recess in executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of public employee or official, along with any other matters specifically identified by motion in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G1 through 8. Unless expressly stated otherwise, during executive session, matters discussed in executive session are designated by the county commissioners as confidential. Because of the confidentiality of such matters necessary for the proper conduct of government business, any disclosure outside of executive session is prohibited by Ohio Revised Code 102.03B. While in executive session, the county commissioners may discuss and deliberate on the matters at issue, but no votes may be taken until open session resumes.
Thank you.
Yeah, public comment on agenda items.
Yes, we have quite a few. I think is it Frank Vasha? I don't know if that's L's or 2 L's or an H. Over item number 11, which is majority of today's comments regarding the,
Good morning.
good morning.
I'm coming to you on behalf of North Ridgeville City Schools today.
Okay.
Item 11 is going to have a financial impact to our district once again. I'm asking you to withdraw this from the agenda today until you have an opportunity to go spend time in each school district and understand the impact to each individual school district in Lorraine County. The decision you're getting ready to make today impacts us all, but very differently in each case. We have not asked the city of North Ridgeville for new levies since 2012, when we promised them we would not come back for a minimum of 10 years. We have far surpassed that. And I want you to understand the impact you made last time you made this decision cost each one of our students $361. The state of Ohio currently is only allocating a little over $800 per student. The rest of it falls squarely on the residents of North Ridgeville. So the decision you're getting ready to make today impacts us in a way that even the state's not at this point, because these are funds that were allocated and approved by North Ridgeville city voters. I understand the impact of property taxes, but unfortunately, the state of Ohio has now made it your burden and made their life easier by passing this down to you instead of fixing the funding for the state of Ohio. So again, I respectfully ask that you withdraw this from the agenda until you have an opportunity to speak with each school district, because it impacts us all differently. We're already making cuts. We're already not replacing staff. I sat at high school commencement on Tuesday night and seen the impact of decisions we've made without asking our community for additional funds. Kids that are going into the military prepared, kids going into the real world prepared, kids leaving with associate's degrees and 2 years towards a bachelor's degree because of decisions we've made while being fiscally responsible with the funds that have been allocated and entrusted to us by North Ridgeville. So again, put the onus back on the state of Ohio to fix the funding problem once and for all without taking funds that we desperately need to continue to do the work that we're doing at North Ridgeville City Schools. I thank you for your time, and I really, truly, deeply hope you withdraw this from the agenda and take a closer look at it.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you very much.
Well said.
Yeah, well said. Mark Ballard?
He didn't need a cheat sheet.
No, he didn't. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairman Moore, Commissioner Gallagher, Mr. Riddell, Commissioner Riddell. I did some prepared remarks for you guys this morning because I didn't want to miss any of the points that I wanted to make. My name is Mark Ballard. I'm a member of the Lorraine City School Board, going on more than 13 years now. And I want to be clear up front. I'm not here today to argue, but I am here man to man. You guys are my friends, and public servant to let you know what's going on in our schools. Let me start saying I respect the position that you guys are in. The homestead exemption you considered last year was not a frivolous thing. It was a real relief for real people. Seniors on fixed incomes, working families stretched very thin, folks who've paid this county for decades and deserved a break. You weren't trying to hurt anybody. You were trying to help somebody. And in the job, that's the hardest math that you could ever come by in this community. Because every dollar you give back to one neighbor is a dollar that can't go elsewhere. I'm not here to question the heart on this. I'm here to ask you to hold two pictures up at the same time. Because while the exemption helped Grandma keep her house, and thank God for that, it also pulled real dollars from Lorraine City schools. Clearview, Amherst, Avon, Firelands, and every other district in this county. And the kids in the buildings, they don't get a separate line item. When the money is gone, it's just gone. I sit in our budget meetings and I see the cuts being weighed. Programs that change kids' lives, staffs who are poured their years into this community, services for the most vulnerable students. And these aren't abstract. These are not abstract numbers on a spreadsheet. These are choices that show up in a child's classroom every Monday morning. So my plea today is not loud, not angry, it's just honest. When this vote comes back to your table, I'm asking you to weigh the kids of Lorraine County with the same weight that you give to our seniors and our homeowners. Both deserve your protection, both deserve your courage, and I trust, because I know you all, that to find the right path, you can honor them both. Thanks for your service, thanks for hearing me out. Again, thank you for the burden that you all carry that most people never see. And God bless this work that you guys do.
Thanks,
Thank you.
thanks, Mark.
Very good. Well said.
Is it Beth? Is it Crossy? Cross-A? Cross, okay.
Thank you. I'm Beth Crossy, Finance Director for the City of Avon Lake. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to first thank you for all that you do for Lorraine County. It's difficult work being a public servant, we all know, and trying to make ends meet and satisfy residents and revenue needs. These are challenging economic times for municipalities and other public entities trying to find a balance to provide the best services for our residents while trying to find the revenue necessary to fund those services. We support efforts to maintain reasonable and affordable property tax for residents. However, we are concerned about the revenue side to the municipalities on municipal budgets. For the City of Avon Lake, the proposed revenue reduction will create additional financial challenges at a time when we are all facing rising operating costs as well as aging infrastructure repair costs. Avon Lake City Council just recently approved the initial tax budget for 2027. For the third consecutive year, there are minimal to no tax dollars available for infrastructure expenditures due to the increased strain on our general fund. While we are trying to address this in different ways, we do count property tax as our second largest revenue source, as do most municipalities. This additional piggyback tax exemptions will negatively affect a much-needed property tax revenue stream for Avon Lake and may ultimately negatively impact the core services that we try to provide to our residents and which they depend upon. We respectfully urge you to reconsider the impact these piggyback tax exemptions will have on our cities, villages, townships, schools, and others throughout Lorraine County before moving forward. Please, we urge you to vote against these exemptions. Thank you for your consideration and your continued commitment to the health and vibrancy of Lorraine County.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for
much.
coming in.
We said thank you.
Oh, sorry. Wendy Fonta? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Wendy Fanta. I'm the treasurer with North Ridgeville City Schools. I'm here today to urge you to remove the piggyback homestead exemption because the real cost of that will fall on the public schools and the families that rely on them. I understand and sympathize with the concerns about rising property taxes, especially for the seniors and residents on fixed incomes. These concerns are real and deserve serious attention. But good intentions do not always make good policy. This proposal will shift the burden onto children and the schools. This piggyback will provide additional tax relief to only about 20,000 residents, but will impact just about each and every one of the nearly 40,000 students across Lorraine County. The impact will be large. There will be larger class sizes, reduced services for struggling students, cuts to programs like arts, athletics, and career tech, and ultimately, fewer teachers and support staff. A child who falls behind because support was cut does not get those years back. A student who loses access to tutoring, mental health services, or career training carries those consequences with them long after this vote has been done. You cannot solve one hardship by creating another, especially when that hardship falls on the children who have no voice in this process. Please do not ignore the long-term consequences. Weakening our schools ultimately weakens the future of Lorraine County. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming in. Roxanne Casero? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners Moore, Riddell, and Gallagher. I am Roxanne Casario, Superintendent of the North Ridgeville City Schools, and I would like to begin by thanking you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the almost 4,800 students and 650 staff members of the North Ridgeville City Schools. Today is our last student day for the 25-26 school year, and instead of celebrating with our students, I am here to implore you not to reauthorize the piggyback homestead exemption or the 2.5% real property tax exemption for the tax year 2026. While everyone in this room agrees that property tax reform is needed, these two changes have had and will continue to have an outsized effect on the students, staff, and community of North Ridgeville. When you as a group initially approved these changes, the North Ridgeville City Schools lost a projected $1.7 million. This amount reflects a full 10% of the savings countywide, representing both the largest dollar amount and percentage of all entities impacted in the entire county. I, however, would like to look at this number a different way. $1.7 million was a loss of $361 per student last year. Renewed again, another $361 will be pulled from the education of each individual student. While many will say that schools spend too much, the North Ridgeville City Schools does not. The average expenditure on a student in the state of Ohio is $12,759. We spend $10,775, 84% of the state average. Every dollar of revenue lost is a substantial reduction and a lost opportunity for the students of our schools. Despite spending far less than most districts in the state, we have been able to expand programs to students, operate the only publicly acclaimed STEAM school in Lorain County and offer in-demand programming like a nursing pathway to help students and our community grow. All of this is at stake if these reductions continue. Because we are such good stewards of the community tax dollars, we have already begun to make changes to the district to address the loss of the initial $1.7 million. The district has implemented a hiring freeze, has reduced or eliminated instructional resources for students, and has raised fees for our families. There is, however, only so much we can do when budgets are reduced. While this time we were able to reduce positions through attrition, a second year of these exemptions will not allow us to do that. If the commission elects to move forward with another year of exemptions, it will directly lead to staff members losing jobs within the year. Every position lost, every program not renewed, every fee that is increased is a loss to our students. The decision made near the end of 2025 may on its face have seemed like a good solution, but the minimal savings that were accomplished for the average homeowner forced the district into deficit spending 2 years sooner than projected. Continued loss of revenue will only accelerate the need for the district to come back to the community and ask for more tax dollars much sooner. Continuing these exemptions will cost taxpayers more and sooner. I again thank you for your time today and hope this helps you better understand the impact of these decisions in our district. I would again ask on behalf of nearly 4,800 students that you not move forward with this reauthorization of these exemptions, or at a minimum, postpone any decision on them until a full understanding of their impact can be evaluated. I thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
R.C. Saxon? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Marcy Saxon, and I am the parent of 2 students who graduated from North Ridgeville City Schools in 2024. I understand today your agenda includes discussion and voting to continue the piggyback exemptions for 2026 tax year. I'm here to speak to the impact these decisions are already having on our schools and students. I'm asking you to please rescind these exemptions for 2026, or at a minimum, postpone this vote until the full long-term impact is understood. As you've heard, the district has already lost approximately $1.7 million in funding due to these exemptions. That's operating revenue that funds teachers, academic programs, transportation, student services, and extracurricular opportunities. These impacts are already happening for the students in North Ridgeville. A grade level has been cut from the only public STEM school in the county. Staff is not being replaced when they retire or resign. These are current conditions that will continue, resulting in fewer course offerings, fewer opportunities, and increased strain on the classrooms and staff. Every student is affected when public education funding is reduced. My own children are examples of what strong public schools make possible. Both of my children graduated in the top 5% of their class. They both earned Governor's Merit Scholarships. One earned the Presidential Fellowship at Miami University, and the other received the land grant at The Ohio State University. Because of their academic performance and work ethic developed in North Ridgeville City Schools, they earn full tuition to public universities, and they will complete their undergraduate degrees with no student debt. Those outcomes were made possible through strong educators, rigorous academics, and opportunities funded by public education. Students currently in these schools, they deserve the same access to these opportunities that my children had. I ask you please to fully evaluate the consequences of the exemptions before you continue a policy that removes millions of dollars from public education and essential community services. Thank you very much for letting me speak today.
Thank you for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Coming.
Frank Toth? Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. My name is Frank Toth, longtime resident of North Ridgeville, lifelong resident of Lorain County. I've been interested in education since my father was a school teacher here at Elyria High, just up the street ways, and he retired from there after 32 years of service. Today I'm asking you to vote against extending the piggyback homestead exemption and expanded owner occupancy credit. I understand the property tax is a popular topic, and I understand that we as homeowners are feeling increased financial pressure arising from recent property reevaluations. But these proposed credits do not eliminate these costs. They shift them onto our schools, our students, our teachers, and the local voters who have already chosen to support public education. North Ridgeville City Schools stated that this county action has already cost the district approximately $1.7 million. Combined with other recent property tax changes, the district projects nearly $15 million less in revenue from 2026 through 2030. This is not a minor budget adjustment. This is staff, classroom support, student services, transportation, technology, and programs. Before Lorain County renews these exemptions, the public deserves a few answers. What specific criteria did this board use to determine that Lorain County needs these exceptions when roughly 80 other counties chose not to enact them? What makes Lorain County so different from the majority of the state? What financial analysis was completed to measure the harm to schools, cities, townships, police, fire, and other public services? Did the commissioners consult with the North Ridgeville City Schools before taking $1.7 million from their budget? Did you ask how this would affect staffing, class sizes, programs, and long-term financial stability? And most importantly, what's the replacement plan? More levies? North Ridgeville already spends significantly less than the state average per student. District officials have stated that the county action alone equals about $350 per year per student, and the total impact of recently enacted changes in Ohio law will approach $1,000 less per student per year. The people of North Ridgeville have voted to support their schools. This proposal disenfranchises our votes. Property tax relief should be fair, transparent, and responsible. It should not be balanced on the back of students in the public schools which serve them. I respectfully urge you to vote no on extending these credits. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Well, thank you for
Thank you
coming
very
in.
much.
Mayor Corcoran? Oh, there he is.
How did I miss that?
I know, no, he was hiding behind people, so.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Appreciate the kind words about Mr. Armbruster. You know, he holds a special place in all of our hearts in North Ridgeville. But I'm here to talk about number 11 on your agenda. You know, last year, the decision to enact the piggyback caused devastating cuts throughout the county. We saw massive cuts to the schools, townships, villages, libraries, county health department, county 911, and municipalities. North Ridgeville experienced the greatest loss of any community in the county. Not sure exactly how that happened, but the city suffered on the school side and in our own city finances as well. We understand the need for tax reform. I understand it's a big issue. We know the state legislature continues to look at these issues and looks at ways to reduce property taxes. But the challenge that we're all facing, you included, is how do we provide the services and the increased demand for services with less money? And we're shifting tax burdens from one side to the other, and that just can't happen. You know, costs are increasing for all of us. You know, again, the demand for services is increasing, but there is a smaller and smaller source of revenue for all of us. We lost over $400,000 on the North Ridgeville city side, And then also, you heard already from many people in North Ridgeville on the school side about the $1.7 million. Again, it's a challenge for all of us on how we navigate this future. I also happen to be the president of the Lorain County Mayors and Managers Association. Unfortunately, several of them could not be here today, but I did speak to the mayor of Avon and the mayor of Lorain. They both expressed their concerns about moving forward with these cuts. Mayor Bradley pointed out the devastating impacts that the Lorain City Schools are already currently experiencing, and it's almost like an extra hit on them for something like this to be enacted. Avon's suffering through these same issues. I know they tend to have more money than most in the county, but they are also suffering through this as well. So I can tell you that, it's kind of interesting how this works. I understand that there's some people who benefit from this move, but the entire county of over 300,000 people suffer because of it. And I think there's got to be a better way. And you heard from several other people about the disparity of how this is being enacted throughout the state. I think that is challenging also. We're running out of ability to create funds unless we start enacting fees, which nobody wants to do, but we are trying our best to make everything work with the money that we have, and taking more away from us is not helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Is it Joel Maguire? Hope I said it right. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I am Joelle Magyar. I'm Superintendent at Avon Lake City Schools. Much like my colleague Roxanne has already explained to you, we are also urging you not to consider voting on the piggyback and the homestead reduction. Avon Lake lost $1.3 million last year. We were fortunate to have a levy approved back in May of 2025, and with that vote last year, $1.3 million was taken of the $3 million that our community awarded us to continue to run the schools. In addition to that, we had, prior to that levy, had made $2 million in cuts. We are down 35 staff members and will be down another 10 staff members this year alone. We continue to watch our finances. We had to raise our kindergarten tuition. It is the highest in the county, sitting at right around $4,000 for kids to attend full-day kindergarten, and also increase our preschool tuition. In addition, we have raised our cost to pay to participate in across the board in all of our extracurricular and co-curricular activities. To have $1.3 million cut from our budget again in the next 2 tax years will force us to go on the ballot within 2 years. Our taxpayers don't need additional school levies put on the ballot to maintain the high quality of education that we are able to provide in Avon Lake. There are over 324,000 residents in Lorain County. 68,000 of them are children, and while all of them are not attending school just yet, at some point they will be. As stated before, the piggyback exemption helped about 24,000 residents of that 324. I would ask that when you consider this, that you think of those 68,000 children that make up about 10% of your population, and put their faces up there when thinking about taking this vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Colleen Aholt? Colleen Aholt?
Thank you. My name is Colleen Aholt, and I am the treasurer of Elyria City School Districts, and I'm here to piggyback on what everybody else said, pun intended. I respectfully ask that the Budget Commission to reconsider approving the piggyback and owner-occupied exemption for Lorain County as a decision will have significant and disproportionate impact on the students and taxpayers of Elyria City Schools. Based on the calculations provided by the county auditor, Elyria City Schools would experience a reduction in revenue exceeding $1.5 million annually, representing more than 1.5% decrease in the district's operating resources. At a time when schools and districts are already facing rising costs and increasing student needs, a loss of this magnitude is substantial. This reduction in funding does not eliminate the cost of educating children. It simply shifts the burden elsewhere. Ultimately, local taxpayers may be asked to make up the difference, or districts may be forced to reduce educational opportunities, student supports, academic programming, staffing, or other essential services that directly impact student success. We ask that you carefully consider the long-term consequences this decision may have on our schools, our students, and our community before moving forward. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
in.
Much.
Rob Shamir? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Rob Shamir, and I serve on Avon Lake City Council. I'm here today to strongly oppose the county-adopted piggyback homestead exemption and increased owner-occupied property tax credit, what I will refer to as county property tax exemption. Last year, this county property tax exemption reduced the Avon Lake property tax receipts by approximately $250,000. And the impact this year could be even greater. This is a substantial loss of revenue. These are dollars that help fund police, fire, EMS, roads, infrastructure, and the core services our residents rely on every day. The impact on Avon Lake City Schools has even been greater. Last year, the property tax exemption reduced district revenues by approximately $1.3 million. That is revenue that is utilized for school district, for students, for classrooms, staffing, student services, facilities, and future levy needs may be tied with that reduction. So I do understand the desire to provide tax relief, but county government also has the responsibility to protect the long-term financial stability of the communities and school districts that residents depend on. Providing tax relief by cutting local revenues without replacing those funds is not a sustainable solution. It shifts the burden onto cities and schools that are already under significant financial pressures. Instead of weakening local tax base, the focus should be on expanding it through economic development, responsible fiscal management, and broader state-level tax property reform. And that does not come at the expense of municipalities and public education. Cities and schools should not be forced to absorb the financial consequence of county-level decisions without any plan to offset those losses. For that reason, I respectfully ask that the county property tax exemption not be approved.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Jennifer Vanderbox. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jennifer
morning.
Fenderbosch, Councilwoman with the City of Avon Lake. And before I start, I have a question. I have a statement from my mayor. Before I leave, is there someone I can hand that to?
He
Because I'm here
emailed
to
us all. I think he emailed it to us.
He emailed it.
He emailed it?
Yeah, he did.
Perfect. Okay, because I will be speaking for myself.
Yeah, that'd be about a 10-minute read.
We just saved 10 minutes. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you again for your public service and for the difficult work of balancing taxpayer concerns with the financial realities facing local governments. It's a hard job. We all know it, all of us legislators. I'm here today regarding Issue 11 and the proposed piggyback homestead exemption and 2.5% partial real property tax exemption authorized under Ohio law. While permitted by state law, last year's decision negatively impacted millions of dollars throughout the county. For Avon Lake, this is no longer a theoretical discussion. As a councilwoman, I receive calls from residents about deteriorating roads and delayed infrastructure. Residents want to know when projects will move forward and when streets will be finally repaired. When a resident calls about a failing road, I cannot tell them we just choose not to fix it. I must tell them we no longer have the resources to address it. The difficult reality is that this year, Avon Lake does not even have a capital budget. Last year's 2.5% property tax reduction cost the city of Avon Lake. We absorbed the loss by tightening operations and delaying projects whenever possible. But there comes a point where efficiency is no longer enough. Eventually, reductions begin affecting the basic services and infrastructure residents see and rely on every day. When property tax revenue is reduced, cities are forced to postpone road repairs, delay equipment replacement, defer infrastructure maintenance, and stretch already limited staff and resources further. Those decisions compound over time and become more expensive to correct later. And this impact does not stop with municipalities. As you've heard, schools and libraries and townships also depend heavily upon property tax revenue. These reductions ripple through every part of our community. Our community is Lorain County. I understand and respect the desire to provide tax relief to residents, but I would respectfully request and ask the commissioners to consider whether shifting these costs upon local governments, schools and libraries and townships simply transfers the burden to another in another form through reduced services, deferred maintenance, and declining infrastructure. Avon Lake is already operating on a bare bones budget. Only about 25% of our resident wage earners both live and work within the city, making property tax revenue critically important to maintaining essential services and infrastructure. We're not asking for excess. We're asking for the ability to maintain core services and infrastructure that our residents respect and expect and deserve. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Kelly McCarthy? Good morning.
Good morning.
Excuse me. My name is Kelly McCarthy. I live in North Ridgeville. I have proudly served our city on the Board of Education for the last 15 years. When I joined the board in May of 2011, we were facing drastic budget cuts. The very first vote I had to make involved reducing teaching staff. We were borrowing money to make payroll and cutting student programs just to stay afloat. But over the last 15 years, our city has changed. Our community recognized the value of public education and in 2012 voted to approve a new operating levy. At that time, we made a bold promise. We would not come back to our taxpayers for additional operating money for 10 years. Quite honestly, that was almost unheard of, but we kept that promise. In fact, we have not returned to ask for new operating funds from our taxpayers still. We worked hard to be strong community partners and responsible stewards of public dollars. Because of that trust, our community supported a bond issue to build our academic center for students in grade 3 through 8, allowing us to open the first public STEM school in Lorain County. Now it's a STEAM school, including the arts. Most recently, our community once again placed its trust in us by supporting the construction of a new high school, which is scheduled to open in the fall of 2028. Through careful planning, thoughtful policy changes, and the grit and determination of our board, our administration, our staff, and our community, We've transformed our district into a thriving school system, one where students can truly design their preferred future. So why does this matter? It matters because now you have the power to make a decision that could undo years of hard work, years spent building trust with our community and demonstrating strong financial stewardship, all in the name of a tax break that will ultimately cost our community more. Losing $1.7 million again, or potentially even more this time, will force our district to return to our voters much sooner than anticipated to request additional operating funds. This year alone, the loss of $1.7 million resulted in approximately $360 less in spending per student. And while we have managed to absorb that loss through measures such as not replacing staff and eliminating a grade at our STEAM school, we cannot continue to sustain cuts of another $1.7 million or more so easily. If these reductions continue, our academic and co-curricular programs will suffer, and the services we provide to both our students and community will inevitably be reduced. We understand the desire for tax relief, and we respect it, but the tax relief achieved at the expense of public education is not the right answer. There must be a better way, and I sincerely ask you to keep our students, our schools, and our community in mind as you make these decisions. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Brian?
Sorry about that. I've been up here quicker.
No.
Give me a heads up.
Well.
Brian Baker,
Hi, Brian.
Brown Township.
Morning, Brian.
So first of all, I have a question on number 11. It says in here we're going to do this for 2 years. Is that correct, Dave? For 27 and 28, or 25, 26, 27?
No, that's 20, manufactured homes are different than homes, so.
Okay, but I guess
This is
what
one
I
of those
ask
votes
is-
every year will come up.
Okay, I mean, that's what I wanted to make sure, just clarification, because you had said in a previous meeting, because you know I've spoken about this more than one time, about my grandkids going to Lorraine schools. You know, I just attended last weekend, my granddaughter graduated from college. She's going to graduate tomorrow morning from Lorraine City Schools. She's got 2 bachelor's degrees and a certificate of completion from the college. You start taking this money away, because the college lost about $800,000, and Jeff, you should understand this, you sat on the college board. This is an impact that's going to affect this whole community. We're taking away from schools, and Dave, I mean, you've had a personal conversation on the phone about this, and you told me you need to get these people to come to the meeting, and then you'll listen. Well, they're here today,
Yeah, we're listening.
and I think you hear what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, and I will tell you this, so if anybody would really like to see what one of our commissioners did at the South Amherst meeting, and it was on 3/23/2026. It's at the 50.3 mark, so about 50 minutes and 30 seconds in. You said, odds are, we will not approve this year. Do you remember that? Because that's a quote. It's right in the video. It also says, we passed this for immediate relief in '25 for the residents, which I understood. Dave, me and you had a conversation, is there any way we can do it every other year because of the state funding? These guys have to turn these plans into the state. So their plans are in there now. Now they're gonna have to go back and rework all their plans. You don't have to do that as sitting up here as elected officials, but they do. Some of these guys have to submit a 5-year plan, not a 3-year plan. Everything you're doing here is hampering them terribly and affecting our children. The other thing that you said, Commissioner Riddell, that really bothered me is everybody should stay in their own lane. You're in these people's lane right now without talking to them. That's what bothers me is at least have the courtesy to sit down and talk to these educators. They're all here now. You know, you didn't go out and reach out to them. You guys went to Avon Lake, Marty, and it didn't go too well. If anybody wants to listen to that conversation, Avon Lake's treasurer did a very good job that night explaining to you guys what was going to be the impact. So I would encourage you to take this off, consider maybe not doing it for a year, and maybe do it next year. We understand people need relief. And then it's crazy is because you're going to give relief, but then you're putting a levy on in number 12 for 911. This don't make a damn bit of sense to me when we do these kind of things. So, but I would encourage everybody to go to the South Amherst Village meeting. You pay attention to it, you listen to it. Maybe it was a campaign speech, I don't know. But I can tell you is if you say you're not going to do something, you should live up to it and you
Yep.
shouldn't do it. So
Thanks.
thank you for my time.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks.
Hey, Greg Banzik. Good morning.
Good morning,
morning.
Commissioners. Greg Bansick, Superintendent of Columbia Local Schools. I'm asking that you either table or vote no on the homestead and owner occupancy tax credits. More than 40,000 students attend public schools in Lorain County, representing approximately 12% of the population of our county. School districts including Amherst, Clearview, Vermillion, Lorain, Elyria have already had to cut several millions, several hundred of their staff member, and of course, reduce important services for their students. Unfortunately, most of us will be in the same situation very soon. Last year alone, these tax credits cost local schools in Lorain County $10.9 million, and that number will even grow with the new proposal that is on the agenda. Combined with the lack of adequate funding from the state, these reductions are decimating our public schools. In addition, these losses ultimately cost local residents more money when school districts are forced to return to the ballot because our forecasts fall into deficit spending. So in other words, what you do or what you did last year is ultimately cost the local residents more money. An example in Lorain where they had to go back for an $11 million levy, or 11 mil levy. On behalf of the 1,100 students of Columbia Local Schools and more than 40,000 of Lorain County, I respectfully ask that the three of you forego these tax credits and prioritize the long-term stability of public education in Lorain County. And I will also include, Brian took my thunder, Mr. Rydell. And you did say, stay in your lane. And I respectfully ask that you stay in your lane and you help. The state is killing us. It's time that our local people help us. And that's the three of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Gerald Phillips.
Good morning.
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 Gerald Phillips, Avon Lake. I'm also a certified public accountant and a tax attorney. Everybody hates taxes. And a lot of times taxes, are implemented for policy reasons. And issue 11 is kind of a difficult situation because it affects the county, it affects the school district, affects cities and townships in their source of revenues. And it affects the school district the most because they get about 2/3 of the taxes. But these two taxes have different purposes, the homestead exemption and the 2.5% owner's occupancy credit, okay? And I've heard a lot of people, low-income people, senior citizens, are already burdened. They're on a fixed income. And if you understand the homestead exemption, okay, it doesn't apply to everybody. It's limited. It has initially an income tax limitation of $30K. Now with inflation, it's about 41. And it also has a value limitation, so it only applies to a certain amount. Anything in excess, it doesn't apply. And Mr. Snodgrass says it equals about $400 max per person for a senior who's on a fixed income. So there's different policy considerations when you do this, Now, when you look at the occupancy credit, it's 2.5%. Applies to everybody. Applies to a house that's only worth $50,000 for somebody who's on low income. It applies to, people who have $2 million houses on Avon Lake on the shore. So in that case, it applies equally to everybody. And the property tax on the owner's credit tends to be a regressive tax. It burdens the low-income people the most, whereas the higher-income people have the ability to pay. And that's why we have a graduated income tax. We have a graduated income tax so that we can have people who can afford and have the income can pay it. So you got two different policy considerations under both of these. And those should be considered from a policy consideration. I mean, I may not be popular, but I'm kind of in favor of the homestead because I believe doubling it, giving people $400 to $800 who are on low income, because there's an income tax limitation. And it's a value limitation. $400 to a senior and who has to pay property tax increase, and mine went up 35%. So theirs went up about 35%. That's a burden. So, I think you should table this. I think you should get information from Mr. Snodgrass and the school district and see how much tax revenue loss is from the homestead exemption and how much is from the 2.5% owner's credit. Because the statute says you don't have to give 2.5% increase. It says you can specify the amount.
Mm-hmm.
You can go from 0 to 2.5 or not do anything. And I think possibly, and being also an attorney, I think you could possibly make the owner's credit limited to people who are the homestead exemption.
Okay, Jerry, you're going to come back up at public comment, right? You took
Yeah.
4 minutes, so I want to give you
Well,
another
it's
chance.
a different issue,
so-
but
I know.
no, I think
I appreciate it.
those comments, I think.
No, they're valid. No, they're good. No, I appreciate it. That's why I let you go on. So, but
Yeah.
it's time to
Need to
wrap
get
it up.
everybody.
Yeah. William Zimmerman's waiting, so he needs to get up here. So, William, where's he at? Oh. I think he knows who. Are you coming up or no? I believe he had the lead. Oh. You guys appreciate it. Who else is, oh, no, that's it, okay. We'll be making comments when the issue comes up. I appreciate everything everyone has said, and we will share with you a lot of the concerns. Hopefully, we can answer some of those when that issue comes up in the next few minutes.
Is there any old business?
I don't think we had, did we?
No?
I'll wait till new business to bring up what we talked about.
Okay.
So,
Board Business 9, approve and waive the reading of the Commissioners' meeting minutes of May 5th and 8th, 2026.
so moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
10, establish compensation for law directors prosecuting violations of state law and municipal courts, Ohio Revised Code 1901-34C for the year 2026. Lorraine and Leary Overland, $7,500 each. North Ridgeville Amherst, $5,625. Avon Lake, Avon, Sheffield Village, Sheffield Lake, $3,750. South Amherst and Wellington, $1,500. Kipton, Rochester, Grafton, Vermillion, LaGrange, $750.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
11, authorize a permissive piggyback exemption for homestead in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code Section 319.304B and a 2.5% partial real property tax exemption in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code Section 323.152B3 for tax year 26 for real property and tax year 27 for manufactured homes for taxes payable in calendar year 27 and 28 respectively in Lorraine County.
So moved.
No. Okay, I'll second for discussion.
Discussion.
Go ahead, would you like to talk first about what's going on at the state?
I would love to.
There's a lot of news that we received in regards to this issue. I'll let you start out.
A couple of general comments. This is probably the most controversial issue that we've dealt with in a long time because it truly pits one group of citizens against the needs of others. If you recall, in 2025, the legislature was working on trying to do some reform to stem off the loss of all real estate taxes, which is an option that still mathematically may not be logically available this year, but it's still out there on the horizon. So they were working on trying to unravel a very complex system that you could easily say they created. So, but it was a long solution. They gave the county commissioners the opportunity to do some immediate relief, but they gave us 45 days to do it. So last year we waited, and when you ask about what we did and why we made that decision and why we're different than other counties, Lorain County has 22,000 households that qualify for the homestead exemption. That's a high number, that's a high percentage considering there's many other counties that may only have in the hundreds. We have 38 counties in the state of Ohio that have less than 35,000 people population for the whole county. So, why are we different than others? We're the largest county, we're one of the oldest counties, and we have an aging population. And that's an issue to deal with. The main issue last year was that while we understood that money was going to come from somebody else, that somebody else would have a 1 or a 2% cut to their budget, and this would bring substantial relief, even though not a lot of dollars, but a substantial relief to those 22,000 people. They don't have a plan B. They don't have anything. They don't have a household income they can cut. So at the end of the day, we made that decision, and yes, at that time, we indicated it was for a year, and we'd hoped the legislature would make substantial change and try and alleviate the issue. As far as staying in our own lane, I ask everybody to please remember that while we represent everyone in this room, we also represent another 312,000 people that aren't in this room. 45% of them vote not to have their taxes increased. They have a voice. They vote and they have a voice. And many of the school levies that pass 52 to 48%, or income tax levies that pass 52 to 48%, that's an indication that there needs to be reform, because it shouldn't be that close. Education is a highly valued thing. It separates our country from the rest of the world, and we need to do a better job, and we need to marshal our resources better. So there are three people at this table. There are the school systems, as we've heard today, because they represent 65% of the sales taxes in the county. So naturally, the school systems are going to be the largest target for any of these changes. At the end of the day, 2026 is different than 2025, and we appreciate the fact that everybody came out. Transparency is a two-way street. Many times we put things on the agenda and nobody calls, nobody writes, and nobody comes. But obviously that wasn't the case today. And so today allows us to put all this information on, and many of the arguments made today are not lost on us, and many of them are very eloquently stated. And we appreciate staying to facts and removing the political campaign, connotation from remarks. Staying to the facts keeps the conversation better. So one of the things that dawned on me just today because of your participation is that when we reduce the tax, it may well be that it reduces the revenue to the better run school districts over the others. Because it's a number of dollars, but if you're already one of those districts that's running at $10,000 or $11,000 per student, or you're a district that's at $16,000 a student, this is going to have a different impact. It doesn't go on equally. Now, we do also know that the state legislature has effectively dealt with the owner-occupied tax, and there's a schedule in there. It's not going to go away. It's just we don't have to enact it if we don't want to. But the state of Ohio has increased the deduction for the owner-occupied houses over the next 4 years and then set it to inflation. So you won't be bringing your case to us, you'll be taking it back to Columbus. So I think that I think that what we need to do is remember that there's everybody at the table. There's some that haven't been here, and we do represent everybody, and we try very hard not to bring undue pain for somebody else's benefit. But I get in trouble when I say this because I'm one of those 75-year-olds. But there's a lot of people out there, they did pay their taxes, and they thought Social Security was going to be a life-sustaining income for them, and they need our help, and maybe we need to find a different way to do it, but they need our help too. They created the future that we now enjoy as we try to plan for the next future. And I also wanted to add that one of the things that came out of one of our previous discussions was that, yes, there's only 12% of the population is kids, but they're 100% of our future.
Do you have anything?
Yeah. One of the things with these economic times that we have, us commissioners have a very difficult task of watching out for money in every area. And it's important that this forum here today that we have was brought to light. It's going to tell the taxpayers out there, the residents, it's going to tell everybody out there with all this coverage, you need to be aware of what's going on with our expenditures. We need to watch what the money is. We are only allowed to spend what we get. And we are going to spend our money wisely. We're going to have to make cuts. And with rising costs out there and stable taxes or revenue coming in, it's only going to get worse. So if cost of living goes up 6% or 4% or 3% this year, our budget's not going up, our revenue budget, that is. So we have to be mindful of it. We have to put ourselves out there. We have to let the taxpayers make the decisions. So the taxpayers need to know this conversation today. And I myself personally think that we should invite interested parties to the table with this situation so we can get both sides of it, bring the legislature in so they know what's going on between us all and how you guys feel. That's where it starts. So I would like to see us move that direction.
Okay. I have probably, how many pages? At least 8 or 9 pages here on how and why we made the decision that we made when we passed this. There was an average increase in, let's say, I'll use the school systems for an example. I have those numbers right here. Unvoted on increase of $47 million. And the adjustments that we made adjusted that $47 million to by 10.9. So we had a $36 million increase, and everybody was screaming at us in 23 and 24 when all those increases. The township trustees were telling it. We'd go to the meetings, everyone's yelling, saying these taxes are too high. They were blaming us for the increase. The auditor's office was blaming Columbus, and it seems like everybody seems to blame Columbus. As we know, since 1997, they still haven't been able to fix the school system that they were told to fix. When the state of Ohio allowed the county commissioners to at least alleviate some of the pressure of that average 31% increase, we did it. And we did it quickly because we only had a small window to do that. I did get to go to and sit down with the superintendent of Lorain, and they were presenting everything and showing the hit that they made, and I felt extremely bad because they got hit the worst. So what I did is I put this chart together. If people want copies of it, I'll give it to you today. I'll ask for a hand. I'll have Amy start copying for you right now. But when you look at like when Avon Lake came in and they got a $7.7 million increase, a $1.3 million adjustment, they still had a net gain from that increase of $6.3 million. Sounds pretty good. But then you look at Lorain and they only get an 81% net gain after we did the adjustment. So the pressure on us right now is to continue or not to continue, or the other option is, I believe, because we still are working on numbers, is to table this and bring this back up on June 2nd at our 3:30 meeting and see what the additional information that we seem to be receiving from the state in regards that might give us the opportunity, because this was all or nothing the way it was presented to us. Is my understanding correct that we may have the ability to either chop this up, there's a lot of things that are happening that we're getting information on. A lot of people are supporting it. I got a lot of phone calls and thank yous from a lot of seniors, and which you never get those calls. You only get the complaints. So it was kind of interesting. So anyway, just to let you know, I have the data on what we made the decision on. When we made the vote, That same data was put up under the screen so everybody could see the numbers and why we made the decisions that we did. We have to do, I know you guys have to do your budgets every 5 years for the, for schools. I don't think or 3 to 5. It's just, I don't know how you can do that. I really don't. We have to do ours every year. We have a letter that's going to get ready to be sent out to all the elected officials. We cut our capital budget, and we are getting very close to, when we cut our budgets, it seems that people like to sue us. So we have a couple elected officials suing us. But anyway, it's going to get even uglier for the commissioners. And we could fix it easily by not passing the homestead, and we would receive an additional couple of $1 million too. But then you have the aspect of the seniors that make less than the 41 or 40,000 that they make. So again, this is something I believe we should table today. I think we should have some more dialogue, and I think the decision though has to be made by June 2nd, which is our next meeting, I believe. Is that correct?
It has to be done by July 1st.
Oh, July 1st?
It has to be done in June.
Has to be done,
in June,
June.
but it's got to be done by July 1st.
Okay. So anyway, that's some of the comments I have in regards to that. And if anybody's interested in it, I don't know, maybe you're not. Would anybody like to see this? Show of hands. How many? I'll count them right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Hey, Amy, you're watching. Can you get about 20 copies for me? Sorry. She better be watching, or Ann if she's next door. Okay. So what we did is, that's why I kind of looked at you when you made the motion. So we made a motion and we seconded it. I prefer to table it. So how do we move forward?
Just amend it to
I'd
table
like-
the motion.
Does he have to amend it, or can I amend it?
That would be
Why don't
me.
you amend
I
it?
motion-
Yeah.
I amend the motion to table it.
Is that all you need for the record? Okay. Then I'll second that amendment.
Any further discussion?
Any more discussion?
I have one little point. One point is to realize our county is very extremely conservative. We do have the lowest sales tax in the state of Ohio, and many attempts have been made to increase it. And that in some cases like that, we have to start looking at how we're going to get revenue back in.
Anything further? On the tabling of number 11, Commissioner Gallagher,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore,
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
All right.
And so tentatively, we're probably looking at June 2nd, unless we still need more information. So,
But keep reading the agenda when it gets published. That way we know you're out there.
and if you're not on our list with Teresa, she's the one that emails out all of our agenda items. Do you want to yell out your email address so you can get another 150? No, do you mind?
TUpton@loraincounty.us.
So if you want copies of the agenda, and I do appreciate y'all coming in. Do we have to call the vote now? Or we did?
She
I
did.
just did.
Okay, now, usually what happens is we continue with the meeting, but most of you here are educators and are working, so if you'd like to, we'll take a few minutes if you'd like to leave, since I think you were here just for this item. So we do appreciate you coming in, so thank you, yeah.
Thanks.
How do they get their copies?
Oh, if you want your copies, oh, I'm sorry. Could I email those?
We could email them. I mean, Amy would have to get all their email addresses, but
Do we have their email on their
Yeah, I
sign-up
got the
sheets?
emails
I
here.
think more people raised their hands and spoke.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, well, let me see if I can get hold of Amy. Yeah, hit pause.
Yeah. Okay.
Jennifer, you're going to stick it out.
And we're back, so.
Under 911, number 12, requesting Lorraine County Auditor pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 5705.03 to certify Lorraine County Board of Commissioners the total current tax valuation of Lorraine County and dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by a .50 mil renewal, .50 renewal with an additional .25 for a total of .75 mils, and a .50 mil renewal with an additional .50 mils for a total of 1 mil for the purpose of Lorraine County 911 agency under 5705.19BB to be placed on the ballot of November 3rd to 26th and levied upon the entire territory of the subdivision of Lorraine County, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, the purpose of this is we actually have two levies that pay for 911, half mil each. And what we want to do is we're asking the county auditor to take a look at possibly just combine them and just turn it into 1 mil. Is it going, since we get a half mil on one and a half mil on the other, they both expire a year apart. We felt that maybe let's do an analysis and see if we can figure out if it just combine them as one, and do we really need the full 1 mil? So this is more for us to follow the path so that when we get all the data, all the numbers, and do the books to see if we can actually, do we really need the full mil? Do we need .75 or a half? So that's what this is all about. So this is the beginning of the process. So those that wish to discuss this issue, it's going to be an issue that's going to be coming up. We have to vote on it by sometime in July, correct? I think it's August. First
Everything
week.
has to be over to the Board of Elections by August 5th.
August 5th? Okay.
If it's this year's ballot, but
Yeah.
we are ahead of the game.
Yep, which is trying to be, so. Okay.
Anything further?
Nope.
Mr. Moore.
Aye.
Mr. Gallagher.
Aye.
Mr. Riddell.
Aye.
Community Development 13 Ward Kleinfelder Inc., Perrysburg, Ohio, contract the amount of $433,500 to provide professional services to administer and implement Lorraine County's $1.6 million PY25 CHIP program for the housing repairs and rehabilitation and housing for low and moderate income homeowners in the eligible jurisdiction of Lorraine County. 2 proposals were received, this being the most responsive, complying with specifications, and will be paid from the CHIP grant funds contractual purchase professional service account, CDBG, and the contractual purchase professional services home account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes. Yes, this is, schools aren't the only ones that have an issue with Columbus. This is a very beneficial program for the residents of Lorraine. However, you'll note that the size of the administrative contract is about 25% of the total award for housing repairs and impacts. That is not our choice. That is specified by the state code that gives us that money. So it's something we want to continue to try and work on, but our hands are tied at this point. If we want the money for the residents, we have to follow the rules that they give us.
Anything further?
Yes, this is another example of what the commissioners do behind the scenes. We're looking at ways to streamline and our communication with the state legislature in this specific example is very important.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Mr. Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Under Job and Families, 14, authorize designee Chris Cabot, Director, to release and accept funds for JFS following the Fiscal Administrative Procedures Manual, Chapter 6, 51019682, Inter-County Adjustment of Allocations for the period July 1st to 26th through June 30th to 27th, and then will be paid from the federal funds account.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Gallagher.
Aye.
Mr. Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Transit 15, authorize Lorraine County Transit to complete an application in the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency for fiscal year 27, Section 5310 funding in the amount of $644,000 for enhanced mobility of seniors and individuals with disabilities. This grant, if received, covers 80% of capital costs, 20% local, and 50% of the operational cost. This new funding source will allow Lorraine County Transit to purchase 2 new vehicles and cover a portion of the operational cost to provide a new fixed route and expanded dial ride services in North Ridgeville, Avon, and Columbia Township.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Want to add anything, Karen?
I will add, the application due date has prompted us to do this in advance of the release of the Transportation Development Plan. So it was a timing issue. But I will also say that our first public meeting for the Transportation Development Plan is today at 1:30 at the Lorraine County Transportation Center, 40 East Avenue, Elyria.
Anything further? Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Airport, 16, entering grant contract with Ohio Department of Transportation Office of Aviation for fiscal year 26 Ohio Airport Matching Grant Program in the amount of $35,100 to conduct an airport master plan study.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Karen, what about our FAA master, what about
Right.
the
The updated
Original,
master plan,
yeah.
all the chapters have been delivered to the Federal Aviation Administration.
Uh-huh.
So we are currently just in the review process, waiting for them to give us the final okey dokey.
Okay. Why do we have to do the same thing with Ohio? Can't we use, this is for the Ohio airport to conduct a master plan for the state of Ohio?
This is for matching dollars.
Oh, matching dollars?
Yeah,
Okay.
so generally, ODOT Aviation will match any funds that we receive from the Federal
From the feds.
Aviation Administration.
Okay.
So this is just a matching grant.
Okay.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Under CBCF 17, award contract to Airmark for food service for the residents at Lorraine Medina Community-Based Correctional Facility, 9892 Murray Ridge Road, area. 3 bids were received on May 7th, this being the most responsive complying with specifications. This is effective July 1st of 26 through June 30th of 29, with 2 optional 1-year renewals. Effective July 1st of 26, meal costs will be provided at cost in relation to population counts reflected in the bid packet and will be paid from the contractual services account.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Under the engineer, 18, rescind resolution 26284 adopted May 8th of 26, approving and enter subdivider agreement with EWGC Development Group LLC for Emerald Woods subdivision number 14 in Columbia Township. This is due to the same resolution was adopted by resolution 26253 on April 24th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Bob, do you want
No, I think somehow this ended up on there twice,
Yeah.
Teresa.
to? Okay, that's it? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to speak to any of the others, or no? I don't want to.
The other one's just a form of the next one is for the Orchard Meadows. That's
Yeah.
just phase 2 of a subdivision in Elyria Township.
Okay.
And then the third one is phase 1 of the Orchard Meadow, which is now complete. This is where actually we formally accept the streets and they get entered into the state database for the road mileage.
Okay.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
19, approve and enter a subdivider agreement with Lake Murray LLC for Orchard Meadow Subdivision Number 2, Elyria Township. Subdivider has submitted proof of ownership, evidence of payment of taxes, certificate of insurance, and professional engineer's estimate of construction costs with approved engineering plans and specifications. Subdivider agrees to bear all costs and expenses of the improvements contemplated by the subdivider agreement and to pay all plan revenue, inspection, and testing fees.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
20, accept on behalf of Larry Township trustees the improvements to Orchard Meadow Subdivision Number 1 off Lake Avenue completed by BDC Buildings and Development LLC subdivider. Following roads will be dedicated on the plat of the subdivision and is recorded in volume 119, page 25, Lorraine County Record of Plats. Orchard Meadows Drive, Township Road T 415.302 miles in length, Lake Avenue to South Termini, and Red Haven Court, Township Road number T 416.044 miles length, Orchard Meadow Drive to West Termini.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Sheriff, 21, enter in a grant award agreement with Ohio Department of Public Safety for the Recovery Ohio Law Enforcement Fund, 2026 ROETF 25047, in the amount of $94,993.80 for Lorraine County Drug Task Force. These funds will be applied towards the salaries of the Drug Task Force and authorized payments from account MEG DTF salaries.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Karen?
Administrator?
Just a brief update. We did hold our second public hearing in regards to the cancellation of the downtown loop. The
Okay.
board recalls we were looking to discontinue that service and then use the saved hours towards our dial-a-ride services for the Lorraine County Transit. Our first public meeting for the Transportation Development Plan is today at 1:30 at the Transportation and Community Center. I do anticipate, after the release of the Transportation Plan, being able to bring our group RLS to the commissioners and present the plan to you all. Also wanted to mention, it's been a busy transit 2 weeks, so I had an opportunity to sit down and meet with representatives from Sheffield Lake with regards to some transit needs that they have for their seniors, and trying to be able to provide a creative way to get some services over to them. So hopefully we'll be able to get a proposal to them within the next couple of weeks.
Are you
And be
looking
able
at
to
using VIA?
provide.
Is that what they're looking at, or no? Or dial-a-ride? What are they looking for?
They're looking more for a traditional fixed route
Oh, really?
service. They have a pretty large group of seniors that will need some specialized services and such to get just from like their community center to the pharmacy, or their community center to a grocery store, or some simple things like that. We're looking like maybe 4 hours every other week, just to get them some relief. Because apparently, and I didn't know this until I had my meeting, there is no bank or drugstore in Sheffield Lake, so they have to go outside in order to get some very basic services. So we'll work real hard and see what we can come up with, and they're willing to partner with us with some of the cost. So we're hoping to be able to provide a service, a much-needed service for them.
I don't believe they have a drugstore either.
No
Or
drugstore.
a grocery store.
That is true, yeah.
We have a grocery store.
You do?
Yeah, Apples.
Yes,
Well, I hear that they don't always want to go there, so what are you going to do?
that's true. We do have a grocery store.
Okay.
All righty, well, that completes my update for today.
I have nothing. Board correspondence.
Move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Dell.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
New business.
Anyone? I do. I've been working on the history of Lorraine County Commissioners. No one's ever done a book on that, and I'm up to about 1860. At the meantime, you go to the prosecutor's office, the sheriff's office, several of these offices. They have like photographs of the previous elected officials, and they go back all the way, which is kind of interesting. So, like, for example, the book that I'm doing, we're going to design it so, I have no problem paying for it out of my pocket, but then it's going to be designed that anything paid, all the money from that book will go to our memorial. We have a memorial through the Visitors Bureau that we use to fix up broken memorials for communities, things like that. And there's some funds there it's not taxpayer funds, it's all private donations, and it was actually dormant for about 8 years. And so that's what we used there's quite a bit of money in there, and we use that to fix a lot of the local communities' war memorials that's been happening. So that's some of the things we're working on. The other thing we're working on, and I don't know if you want to show it, we're missing photographs of a lot of commissioners, So I thought, since Dave's here, maybe I should just give you the list instead of putting it on. But if you don't mind, put it on the screen. A lot of, what's interesting when I was looking at 1824 through 1860 is how many family names are still here in our county. History is really interesting to me. So I thought it was the first probably 20, 25 years of this county. It's kind of interesting to see all they were doing was roads, putting in roads and naming and the petition process. So we're looking for photographs of these individuals that were actually county commissioners. And I thought if you look at the beginning there, some of the, you had some of the party affiliations I haven't been able to find. The newspapers, it was basically pre-Chronicle, which is, I think it was, they had a name at one time. Then there's some other papers that I can't find. But the stories were not, it was more national, not about local government. So probably was just as boring back then. But anyway, so I'm just helping out if you have any relatives or any photos of people that were elected commissioners, we would like to at least see if you could get those to us. Teresa's and Amy, my assistant, are working on that for us, and we're going to hopefully have that done in time for the our 250th celebration. Look at her. See, she's like, I'm trying to put some pressure on you. Not many. So we'll see what we can.
smile.
We'll see. There's supposed to be a meeting next Wednesday with a company to see what they if they can put it together for us, because they liked it to be something nice. So
But there's only 59 of 112 that are missing.
right, that's all. It's just half. She can do it. I have all the faith in you. But I just want to give an update. That's what I'm trying to find. I got some side hobbies. This is one of them. So, okay, that was all I had.
Okay. We're down to public
Oh.
comment.
Yes, we are. Most of everybody was writing down. They were putting in both. So I think I got Otis on top. Or did you want to wait to the end? I didn't. Otis Lovejoy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Sat here today and I listened to everything about the schools, and there's a lot of things that come to mind. The schools are losing some of the funding, and they're worried about who's going to pick up the slack. A lot of times that falls on the parents. And you guys talked about the I can't think what it's called. I'm sorry, I sat there so long, my brain went shut off. The what they were against.
The homestead exemption?
Yes, homestead
Okay.
exemption.
Oh.
You were saying how the homestead exemption benefits some of our elderly, and you're talking about what their needs are and how limited their funding is, and they rely on Social Security and whatnot. All this stuff. One hand helps the other. We're still part of that hand. And it's just, with us, again, I'm being a dead horse by specifying that, the cost of living has gone up drastically. And even since we've been out, everything has gotten even more out of control. So, with what we make, it's hard for us to get by. But we're also those parents in that community. We're also the ones who have the kids going to those schools. We're also the ones who are in that generation where we're taking care of the parents and the grandparents. And when you think about all that, it's just, how do we do those things off what we're making? And then it's just, who's going to process those things that these 8 different groups are needing? The daycare and for the children, who's going to process that? The summer camp stuff that you guys brought up just recently with the TANF funds, who's going to process that? The Medicaid for the elderly, who's processing that? With all of us out, it's hurting the community. And you guys talked about getting them back to, getting the people together to sit down and have negotiations and talk about the things. I would like for you guys to come to the table and sit down and talk with us, because we've come here and we've been here week after week. I listen to you guys talk about how different people, how you appreciate their passion and how they fight for what their cause is. We're doing the same thing, but for some reason it's falling on deaf ears. So I plead with you guys to come back to the table. We don't want to be out here. We'd much rather be working, and it's just, we're part of that community. Help us help you.
Okay. Thanks, Otis.
Thanks, Otis.
Gene Smith. Good morning.
Hi,
Good
good
morning.
morning.
Good
Jean
morning.
Smith, I'm from Job and Family Services. It must have been hard to watch someone you work with every day as their health declined. Can you imagine the families right now that are experiencing the same thing, watching their loved ones decline while trying to apply for Medicaid? The person dying themselves are worried about the debt that they are leaving behind. What a way for someone who has worked their whole life to feel at the end. Your friend was wealthy. Most in Lorraine County are not so fortunate. Imagine the area hospitals with people falling off of Medicaid. Seems to me I saw something about mercy, could possibly close in the future. Not sure how true that is, but nursing homes and assisted living facilities will not be able to provide services forever without getting paid. This is a financial strain on all of these entities. Some of them, by June 1st, will have $500,000 in pending Medicaid applications, while you've probably already saved over $1 million by keeping us out and not negotiating. Please
Thank
get
you.
back and negotiate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandra Jensen?
Sandra Jensen, 617 Lafayette. APS intake, 10 years, $17.77 an hour. I'm 63 years old. I've never been a job hopper. I worked at a pizza place for a year in high school, and then I transitioned to the local hardware store where I worked 6 years. I put myself through college. I worked for the Cuyahoga County Board of DD for 11 years. I was a stay-at-home mom for 19 years, and during that time I got on the school board where I'm serving my 19th year. In 2016, I needed to go back to work. I've been at Lorain County for 10 years, plus this time on the strike. My other jobs, I always felt loved. Maybe not the pizza place because we were just a bunch of kids, but you know, at the hardware store, when my dad died, the owner closed. He closed the store to attend my dad's funeral. Cuyahoga County was a wonderful place. Some of my school board people were here today. I love them. I love what I do at the Job and Family Services, but I've never really felt appreciated. And it's my choice to stay there. I don't really feel like I work for you. I work for the people of Lorain County. Last spring, the job market really stunk. And my daughter was in St. Louis. She needed a job. I said, hey, try child support. I think you would like the job. She loved her coworkers. She was challenged by the job. But at the same point, she was immediately didn't feel the love. Do you need the love to work? I don't know. But fortunately, she's smart, well-educated, and she got a really awesome, cool job in Franklin County. She just finished her second week, and every day she tells us something, and it's just like, we go, wow, is that for real? Wow, are you kidding me? Seriously? But it is true. All I want is for you guys to come to the table. Show us some love. Show us some respect. Show us some attention. And you know, if you don't want to come to the table, that's okay. Just send your people. Let's have a talk. In the school district, we just wrapped up a contract for our teachers. No, we couldn't give them everything we wanted, but it was amicable. We were kind to each other, and we tried to work hard. That's all I want. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. And I'm not going to work anywhere else. This is my last job. So, because I'm going to be 65 soon. Bye-bye.
Is it David Roberts? David? You wrote down David-Ronald-Roberts. So is that you? That's you, I take it. Okay.
Common law.
Okay.
And by the way, that is my actual name.
Okay, good.
I changed my name to reflect that.
Good
Dave
morning.
Roberts, LaGrange Township. Greetings. I have a notice to the people of Lorain County and to the elected officials of Lorain County government. This is an announcement and a notice to the Lorain County Commission to be put on public record in its true form, and this commission does not have permission to edit the record. To do so is treason. As you are well aware, that King Charles came to the United States Capitol in the United States of America on April 27, 2026. This act signifies the British Empire, the Crown, surrendered to the Continental Army of the United States of America, surrendering all claims of oversight and control and authority over the government and the sovereign people of America. The King's realm has no standing on this country as of April 30th, 2026. This has been in the making for 250 years. What does this mean? This means that the United States of America is a free, sovereign nation, a nation of the people in a constitutional republic. On the land, the law of the land is constitutional common law. No longer do we, one people, accept the King's law, which is admiralty administrative law. This simply means that no Ohio Revised Code, none of these laws, these courts, the King's courts, without lawful Article 3 courts, is in honor under the laws of our Creator. This means that the Ohio Revised Code has no standing in law. There is no enforcement allowed by a fundamental law as stated in Mulberry versus Madison. Any law that violates the U.S. Constitution is eviscerated on its face.
Okay.
So after April 30th, 2026, we only have constitutional republic common law, and this is not the Bar Guild's interpretation of what they believe common law is either. Now, after April 30th, 2026, this commission is operating in the wrong jurisdiction under admiralty law, the law of the sea, as shown by your flags that is present in this room. The gold fringe must be removed immediately, for this is an act of treason under aiding and abetting the enemy. Final point. With us under a republic, the original 13th Amendment is active. This means no bar member, attorney, can hold any public office in America. Any bar member is a foreign agent of the Crown. They are required by law to have a FARA, Foreign Agent Registration Act, on file with each attorney to present in person his or her original certified FARA registration certificate from the Ohio Secretary of State and their anti-bribery statement, 18 U.S.C. 951. This commission has 30 days to correct the jurisdiction of this assembly to reflect that of a republic government, and no bar attorney may be present at this proceedings. It is a violation of the 14th Amendment, Sections 3 and 4, and you will be held to the standard of the law. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for your opinion. Okay, Shauna Hatfield.
Morning.
Good morning.
First, I'd just like to say that you guys both mentioned, right, Ellen Moore, elderly and Social Security needing relief. You don't seem to care that they need relief. They need their Medicaid applications processed for long-term care. They need their SNAP applications processed and to be turned back on, since a lot of them are discontinued and they shouldn't be. But it seems to only you guys care about the elderly when it fits your purposes. Okay, so I have a letter from Michelle Simmerman of LaGrange. She's speaking on behalf of all county residents that are unable to take off work. Good morning, Commissioners. I want to express concern about several issues affecting county residents and working families. First, these meetings are consistently held during normal working hours, making it difficult for many residents to attend, speak, or stay informed about decisions directly affecting their lives. Public participation should not depend on whether someone can afford to miss work. I'm also concerned about the ongoing Lorraine County JFS strike. It has gone on far too long. The workers providing these essential services deserve their fair pay and fair treatment. Many residents struggle to understand why there are so many highly paid administrative positions while frontline employees are fighting simply to earn enough to support themselves without needing assistance themselves. Over the past several years, residents have watched more high-paid administrative positions be added throughout the county government, while taxpayers continue to be asked for more funding. Many people are questioning whether this growth in management position is truly necessary or if those resources would be better spent supporting the employees who directly serve the public every day. Residents are not asking for miracles, they are asking for responsible spending, fair treatment of workers, transparency, and leadership that understands the financial realities people are facing every day. Thank you for your time, Michelle Zimmerman, and the working residents too busy to be here today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Jill Heron? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Jill Heron, and I'm the owner-operator of Welcome Nursing Home, a Lorraine County family-owned and operated facility in Oberlin. We recently celebrated our 80th anniversary of providing quality of care to our community. I'm standing before you today to highlight a critical, rapidly escalating crisis excuse me, affecting our facility, our staff, and our vulnerable seniors we care for. A crisis that is directly collateral consequence of the ongoing Lorraine County Department of Jobs and Family Services labor strike. Welcome Nursing Home and the other Lorraine County facilities depend on the Lorraine County Department of Jobs and Family Service caseworkers to assist families and residents through the complex process of Medicaid eligibility. This caseworkers provide a valuable service to Lorraine County residents to find themselves in need of governmental assistance for their health care and for their long-term care. Right now, Welcome Nursing Home has 16 pending Medicaid applications for eligibility residents that are completely stalled. To a large corporation, a delay might be just a line item, but to a small family-run provider like us, it is a direct threat to operational cash flow. At the end of April, the stalemate has left over $140,000 in critical revenue, which is completely frozen. Some of these applications trace all the way back to November of '25, nearly 7 months ago. Some of the applications represent individuals who have already been discharged or who have expired, which makes the eventual approval more difficult. We fully respect the collective bargaining process. However, the ongoing stalemate of no bargaining is negatively impacting healthcare organizations that are committed to meeting the needs of the Lorraine County citizens. The local healthcare providers and vulnerable seniors cannot continue to bear the collateral damage of this disruption. We urgently request that the Board of Commissioners prioritize an immediate resolution to the strike so that capable Lorraine County caseworkers can go back and process these severely backlogged applications, and more importantly, assist and support the eligible Lorraine County citizens. Thank you for your time, for your media attention to the critical matter, and your leadership in our community. I pray we can find swift resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So do we.
Shannon Kuhn?
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Shannon Kuhn, President and CEO of Springer Healthcare Systems and Silver Maple Recovery. Springer Healthcare operates 5 nursing homes in Lorraine County and a drug and alcohol rehab program in Lorraine County as well. Springer Healthcare has been providing care to Lorraine County seniors since 1959. My reason for being here today is to explain the very real impact the ongoing county strike is having on our organization and, more importantly, on the vulnerable residents and clients we serve every day. Our staff works regularly with county employees throughout the year on Medicaid applications and public assistance programs, and those services are critical for the populations we care for. We appreciate the hard work they do, and we understand this is a difficult situation for everyone involved. On the nursing home side of our organization, we currently have 32 Medicaid applications in pending status, along with 11 additional Medicaid applications waiting to be filed. Right now, that represents over $500,000, $570,000 in pending Medicaid reimbursements, and the additional applications would add another $100,000. The more time that passes, the more this number will continue to grow. The financial impact is significant, but the bigger concern is what happens to residents when applications sit untouched for months. If files are eventually reviewed and information is requested later, delays can create periods of ineligibility that could have been avoided if applications were processed in a timely manner. The impact is just as serious in our drug and alcohol rehab treatment programs. Many of our clients are with us for only about 30 days. If Medicaid approvals are delayed and more information is requested, it becomes very difficult to reconnect with those individuals. We are also seeing discharged clients struggle to access food assistance and prescription coverage in a timely manner. Some are relying on food banks or going without medications and basic supports during an already fragile period of recovery. I ask you to recognize that while this labor dispute continues, vulnerable residents, seniors, and people in recovery are being directly affected every day. We respectfully ask that a resolution be reached as soon as possible because the ongoing delays are having real consequences to our organization, residents, families, and clients in recovery. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming in. Brian and Gerald, you guys both checked both. You still want to speak at both? Brian first. Gerald, do you want to speak again? Okay.
Good morning. Commissioners, you know I live in Brownhill Township. We're going through a land use plan out there that's going on right now. And I attended a meeting on Wednesday out there, and right before I went to the meeting, I got a person brought up an article from Attica, Ohio. And I don't know if you guys are aware of it, that there's a Ohio Department of Agriculture awarded grants. What, is there a reason we're not on those grants? 22 counties got that. We're in the middle of a crisis, figuring out what we're gonna do with our farmland. Did we apply? I mean, I guess I'm just asking is, it seems like if they're giving out money down at the state, and I think there's about $1 million that they're putting out, 22 of these counties, which as close as Medina, Huron, butts right to us. So it's the same farmland divided by a county line. Did we apply for this money? I mean, did our special project coordinator apply?
Yeah, there was a process, and they followed it. Unfortunately, people didn't show up.
Who didn't show up?
New Russia
Dave?
Township.
No. This is the county gets this.
Yes, and there is a process in which every community in the county has to
I
participate.
brought the article of what you have to do to apply for it. I
yeah.
mean, you have to have your soil and conservation, all of your townships in Lorraine County.
Yeah, well, we know. We went through the process.
But what I'm saying is, this doesn't make sense if they're giving out this
I
money.
agree.
I
agree. I'm surprised they didn't didn't want to participate.
Okay, at least I'm glad we at least applied for it.
No, we didn't apply for it because nobody would participate. We had one, Elyria Township, and it's government, okay? These guys, there's all these rules and regs that you have to do, and when the other communities didn't want to participate, and our guy set up the meeting, and there was a no-show. So that's what happened. So don't, I know it looks bad. It's frustrating when you got money and you leave it on the table.
Really, the land plan they're going to do, it's going to affect me personally. It's the property is.
Well, I just want to let you know that's what happened.
Could I just a point of privilege if you let me?
No, go ahead. I didn't even turn the clock on. How's that?
So 2 points is, this whole thing on the Homestead Act, Dave, and I would
Okay, I'm going to hit it again. Now I'm hitting the clock.
I just make a suggestion is, like, if there be a way that you could maybe reach out to maybe the county education superintendent and maybe a city, maybe a couple of them come in and sit down with a committee before you bring it back so that they can at least understand your side of it, not just hear it at 2 minutes speaking.
Oh, no, I've sat with these guys, and they know exactly where I stand.
And I know where you stand. Me and you've had this conversation. My last point is Senator I'm going to call him Senator Armitage because that's how far I go back. I've known Jeff probably for 35 years. We've been on the same sides on issues, and we've been on the other sides. I would say both of us treat each other professional. We worked through the issues. We did what was right. You guys know I come out of the labor movement. In the labor movement, when someone passes away, we always take a moment of silence for them. I don't know if you can't do it here today or whatever, but I would think it'd be very fitting to take a moment of silence for someone that dedicated their life to the county. And like I would say is, we had some great fights both ways, but Jeff always kept the conversation open. As probably as recently as a month ago, we had to sit down with Jeff, working through some issues, trying to make sure if some things go, we have contractors. So, I mean, we can be contentious at issues, but I think we should take somewhere along the line, we take a moment of silence for him. With that, I'd just say thank you for consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we, in fact, I got a photo of you, Brian, and Jeff Armbruster when we did that dedication for that Old Columbia Gas Building. I still got that one, so.
We also did get the flags at half staff in Columbus, here, North Ridgeville.
Yeah,
We plan on doing something down
Yeah,
there.
there'll be, yeah, there's, you can't just reduce the flag. Only a governor can order the president. So that was very kind of, I thought, Marty, you stepped up and we were talking about it, and he called the governor's office and they allowed it, so. Thank you. Gerald Phillips, where's he at? Did he leave? Oh, okay.
Gerald Phillips, Avon Lake. JFS, I'm under the impression that you spent $600,000 in legal fees in connection with the bargaining dispute. And if you take 2,000 hours for one employee for a year, that comes out to be 300 employees. All right?
I better hit the
And
one.
that's
Yeah,
at
that math's off.
a dollar an hour, okay? And if you do that, there's 140 employees. You've already spent legal fees for 2 years that you could have given them a dollar raise. So, you know, you're incurring costs, and in lieu of that, you could have gave them a raise. ORC 323.152B3 basically says the resolution for the homestead exemption or the owner's credit shall specify the amount of the partial exemption which may equal up to 2.5%. So you have the discretion to do any percent, and I believe you could have the discretion to limit that to individuals who qualify for the homestead. Now, I didn't hear anybody clap after I spoke because all the
Well.
superintendents there, but, you know, contrary, you know who's eligible for the homestead? Veterans, disabled people, seniors. So this may be unpopular, but if I was in your shoes, I couldn't vote not to double that for those needy people, okay? You know, as far as the owner's credit, you know, I mean, I live in Avon Lake. There's a lot of expensive houses, and there's a lot of people who are making a lot of money, and they're getting that credit, and they got the ability to pay. That's why I try to talk about the rationale of taxes and regressive taxes. So, you know, I'm glad you tabled it. And I think Mr. Snodgrass should come up and, on the homestead, find out how much each school district and entity is losing. Because you're losing money too. By calculation, you probably lost, what? How much did you lose on the county? Over $2 million. And you're on a budget crisis.
We
So-
didn't lose it.
Yeah, so, you know, all three parties lose, okay?
Well, that's an open discussion.
You know?
The definition of losing, you know, when
Well-
when the 31%
Well-
of your taxes are increased,
Yeah, well,
unvoted on,
it's-
you know, I'm just letting you know, Jerry. That's
Yeah,
how,
well,
you know.
I think you pointed it out
Yeah.
very specifically. All you're doing is you were taking away a windfall that they got from the valuation.
Thank you. That's
And
yeah.
and I understand that. So
Okay, good.
If school districts didn't properly plan, then I guess
Well, they didn't
that's
see
an
it
issue.
coming. For their defense, they didn't see it coming. So,
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you didn't see it coming either. You
Nope.
had, what, 45 days to
Yeah.
act?
Yeah,
So,
so.
you know,
Okay.
I would say this time, make sure you measure twice and cut once. And I'm glad they're here. you
I
know?
agree, I
I'm
agree.
getting tired of it just me, Bill, and JFS being here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. Okay, we're adjourned.
Well, you're going to executive session.
All right, we're going to adjourn and go into executive session with the page. What? Are you? Okay, well, come on up. We're not adjourned. Okay.
You're going to recess.
What's that?
You're going to recess.
Was there somebody else?
No, you're going to recess. and
Jennifer Fennerbosh,
okay.
He
Councilwoman
went
again
to high
from
school in Michigan.
Hey,
You have
hey,
to be
that's enough.
patient.
Come on now.
Avon
Come
Lake.
on.
He's talking about Dave.
All right, I'll wait.
No, you're ready. I'm just.
All right. So Jennifer Fennerbosh, Councilwoman again from Avon Lake, and I really thank you all for tabling the idea on number 11 so that you could not only take the information that was presented today, but have the opportunity to get a hold of some of the stakeholders in a room and to discuss it. And Mr. Phillips and I sometimes don't agree, and on this one I'm going to be agreeing with him. And he knows historically that we have quite a history. But anyhow, I think that you have the opportunity to decouple maybe those two concepts. One, the homestead exemption from the 2.5 and see, what your balance is. But I want to thank you again for taking the time to table it.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Like I said,
You're welcome. Thanks.
It looks like that the state of Ohio may be doing it on their own, and we may not have to do it, right? I mean, that's kind of, we're hearing a lot of things. We want to make sure
Right.
if we don't have to do part of it, or are we allowed to do part? So we'll find out. We'll find out. So I'm just glad everybody showed up to talk about it. That's important. So,
Actually, I think, Commissioner, we have some options in 26 that we did not have in
Correct.
25. It was an all or nothing kind of thing because it was all done in haste to try to react to the anti-group. And so when they did do their thing, they also, I think, gave us some latitude that we still don't have, what do you want to call it, administrative advice on yet.
yeah, but hopefully we'll have it soon. So.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
Recess.
Make a-
Motion to recess.
no motion. Are we on a recess or executive
Yes.
session?
Motion to go into executive session.
Yeah, motion.
Motion to go into executive session.
Yes.
My motion.
Okay, I'll second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Sorry. Didn't mean to wake you up there.
I reconvene from executive session.
We are adjourned. Wow. 2 minutes.